Good morning, everyone. It is not sunny. It's very cloudy, but that's okay. And my doggies are playing. Today is what I eat in a day, number 5. So I will take you inside and get all set up so you can see what today holds. Just a little bit of a preview. Everyone's been asking for steak tartare. Gonna do that. And also the bone marrow. So it's gonna be a very beefy day. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend this time in your head. Breathe deep, love. Take your time. Hang on loosely as time flies. Through all of the laughs and every tear, I never would have thought we'd make it here. Please know, wherever this life goes, this will be your home. You're never alone, my love. Remember, you're always enough. Hold on and never give up. You're never alone. Wherever this life goes, wherever this life goes. Take heart, love, through the years. Live your life free of fear. Through all of the laughs and every tear, I never would have thought we'd make it here. Please know, wherever this life goes, this will be your home.
So it's 3:15. I had one fatty coffee this morning and then I switched over to black coffee and I've just kind of been working on that ever since. So now it's lunchtime. I got everything ready so that you guys can see exactly what that process looks like. Here is my steak tartare. Now I cut this when it's still mostly frozen. And if you've never tried frozen raw ground beef, it's actually really kind of amazing. I would not recommend doing this with anything from a grocery store. I don't care if it says organic. I don't care if it says grass-fed, grass-finished. If you don't get your meat from a local butcher, I wouldn't do it. Even from the local butcher at the grocery store could be very questionable. That disclaimer has been put out there. You get to make your own decision of what you're gonna do. So this comes from our local cow, from our local rancher, and I've had this cow for about 2 months. It's been frozen. It was frozen before we got it. It was frozen, it's been frozen since. So I know, and I'm confident that this is gonna be safe. So in order to make this, I simply sprinkle this with Redmond seasoned salt or regular salt. Sometimes I'll eat it frozen. Sometimes I'll eat it just a little bit thawed. But I always eat it with chopsticks. So I will pick up each individual piece once it has been sprinkled with whatever seasoning I want to put on it. And I will dip it into my egg yolks. These I just separated out. You'll know I have my own chickens and my own eggs right now. I will use the eggs from Walmart. Anywhere else, I'm totally fine with that. So this is what I will be dipping that in. And then I weighed out my 1 ounce of bone marrow. For this is gonna simply be with regular Redmond salt. That's all this is gonna be on top of that. But before I go any further, tradition, I'm gonna check my numbers. We're gonna see where I am at before I begin eating anything. My kids are in the other room playing, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry. I was also informed that you need to wipe away the first drop of blood that you get when you prick your finger. So I've linked down below in the description the video that Keto Mojo has put out explaining collecting a clean blood sample. So you're going to want to do that before you pull your blood sample. You're going to want to wipe away the first drop. That gives you a clean sample, a clean test. So this is ready. This is my glucose. Okay, 71. And now for the ketones. So you're gonna wanna start wiping away the very first drop. I wouldn't suck on it, 5.7. I would not suck on it because the saliva, I don't know if it's gonna interfere with it. So use a paper towel, napkin, piece of toilet paper, something like that. All right, I will pop up the Dr. Boz ratio and the GKI right over there. And then I'm gonna eat. And I will show you guys exactly how I do it so that there's no question whatsoever. There's my bone marrow. I wait till it cools off a little bit because it's molten lava when it first comes out. I used to hate bone marrow. I really did. I got it the first time ever in a restaurant. That it was horrible. But then I guess my taste buds grew up and now I absolutely love it. It's gelatinous. It's chewy. It's like 25 to 1 fat to protein, if not more. So this is a perfect way to up your fat, even if you are beef only. Most people can handle the bone marrow. So I do 450, about 25 minutes for those big bones. I'm gonna try to pick it up, we'll see. It's a little hot. But you are gonna wanna keep these guys. These, once they've been cooked, cannot go to your dogs, but you can put them in bone broth. I have been saving every single one of my bones. Whenever we have chicken wings, I've been saving all the bones. I've been saving the ones from bone marrow. Anything that I'm doing, I'm saving every single bone so that I can start using them in my pressure cooker to make some really rich, intense bone broth. This came off of my 3 big bones. This tallow is incredible. I'm actually going to try making some whipped tallow lotion, and if it works out, then I'll show you guys that video. We'll see how it goes. But I have another one that's over a cup And then this I got not quite, I got like just under a half a cup. But I try to save every single little bit of that I can. So now for my steak tartare, I salt all of it. And then if I want a little bit of flavoring, I'll put some of this on top of it. I just don't do a whole lot of that because it is making me get a little bit inflamed. So I pick up my little bite and then I dip it down into my yolks. And then I eat it. It's got a slight crunch because of the frozen bits. I think it's absolutely incredible. And you could also dip this, if you're beef only, you could also dip this into the rendered tallow. But I love the creaminess of the egg yolks. Some of them are a little bit frozen. Some of them are a lot frozen. Some of them are completely thawed. I just love it. It's a much simpler way to do the steak tartare in little bite-sized pieces. You saw how I measured it out. You could chop up the whole thing so that you're only chopping once, and then measure out what you're gonna eat for the day and freeze the rest of it on a plate or a tray or in a Tupperware that you keep in your freezer. You can line it with some parchment paper in between so that they don't stick to one another, so that next time you're ready to eat this, you can pull some out, let it thaw to the consistency you want to eat it, and then eat it. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go eat all of this, and then I will show you guys a fat bomb that I had figured out without the sugar alcohols. You can leave out all of the sweeteners because I'm not the only one eating it. I went ahead and I put some sweetener in it, but I will show you that recipe in just a few minutes. Hey guys, it's about 5:30 and I'm gonna eat a little bit more. I've decided I'm going to have some of my lap steak. So I will link that video up above so that you can see how I do this. And then as far as tracking this, what I do is I actually use Carnivore Crisps product to track it with, because I use their, this is a New York roast that was sliced very thinly and then dehydrated. Carnivore Snacks has a dehydrated New York strip. So that's how I track it. I'm gonna take a plate and then I'm going to take my scale and I will actually hold it down here so you guys can see how to make this work. I'm probably gonna get a smaller plate, but I'll show you how this works. All right, when you first put your scale down, mine, I think I might need to change the battery. I think it's having issues. When you first put it down, it'll say 0. I put my plate on it, and then you're gonna hit the 0 button, and it will 0 out the number. So now it's taken away the weight of the plate. So now everything from this point out is gonna be just your food. So I'm gonna go for about 1 ounce. Yeah, my scale's being funny. So I'm gonna go for about 1 ounce. Had several pieces stuck together. These have just a little bit of seasoning on them. Okay, let me break a piece off. Alrighty, so this is how much I'm going to be eating of my faux carnivore snack strips. That's about 1 ounce right there. So that's how I measure out my lap steak. And then I'm going to finish off my day with the little treats that I made. These are my little faux Andes mint thought bombs. And I showed you guys how I did these. I actually plugged it all in to Chronometer, and then I created my own setting for the servings, because it was either 1 serving or nothing. So then I clicked on add a serving, and what I did was once they were chilled, I put this bowl on my scale, I zeroed it out, and then I popped out every single one of the little snacks, and I saw what the weight was. And I figure I'll probably eat about 1 ounce of them whenever I'm gonna have a snack. So I put a serving size as 1 ounce, and then the total number of servings was 15. I got a little over 15 ounces in this. I figured the 0.3 spread out over everything really isn't that big of a deal, but I got 15 ounces for all of this, so almost a whole pound. And I figure I'll eat about 1 ounce at a time, which is between 3 to 5 of the snacks, depending on how much you have. So you're gonna wanna weigh it out every time you eat these if you wanna track it properly. And I'll pop up the macros just for these alone. So you can see these are really good in the fat. There is a little bit of alcohol that's from the flavorings. So I'm gonna put these back in the fridge, and then I'm gonna come and show you what I used. So I used 1 cup of unsalted butter, and then I did 1 cup of my coconut oil. This one I get from Costco. When I'm looking for coconut oil, I look for organic, virgin, cold pressed, and unrefined. I want it to be as unadulterated as possible. Coconut oil has both medium chain triglycerides and long chain triglycerides. Some people say that lauric acid, which makes up about 50% of coconut oil, is medium chain, and other people say that no, it's long chain. I think it's one of those things that kind of depends on the person, because some people process it very quickly as a medium chain and other people seem to process it as a long chain. So take it whichever way you're gonna take it, but it does have both. And then butter has the short chain fatty acids in it as well. So that's a really good blend of all 3 of the fatty acid chains that are gonna give you immediate ketones and then take a lot longer to get through your system and give you ketones kind of consistently. So I used a cup of each of those. Then I did 2 teaspoons of this Olive Nation chocolate extract. And this is where the alcohol comes in. There's a little bit of alcohol in it. I used this one. This is one of the cleanest ones I've ever found, thanks to Lindsay over at Lindsay Murphy. And then I did 1 teaspoon of peppermint extract. I honestly could have done 2. If you really like pepperminty flavor, then this would have been good. I used the Hershey's cocoa powder because it's what I had. I did 4 teaspoons of that. And then this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I'm not the only one eating these. And so I wanted to give it the extra boost of flavor, and I'm not worried about the little bit of sweetener that's in this. I'll try to link it down below in my Amazon store if they do still have it. But this is their Cocoa Mint Syrup by NuNaturals. So this is glycerin, water, organic cocoa, stevia, and peppermint oil. And that is all that is in this. That's nice. There's no natural flavors because we know that those can be a little bit tricky. And then the serving size is a 1/4 teaspoon, and it's less than 1 gram of carbs. But Carnivore's really good about adding all of those carbs up. So it'll tell you exactly what it is. So that's what I did in mine. I actually think next time I might do less of the coconut oil and leave the butter content a little bit higher. I cannot stand the texture of butter that has been melted. Love melted butter. Like Lindsay said, I could literally drink it right out of the Pyrex thing, and then re-solidified. That I cannot stand. It's grainy and I can't stand this. I just can't stand it at all. So what I did is I took the 2 sticks of unsalted butter and I left them out in the Pyrex all night long so that they were nice and soft. And then I used my room temperature coconut oil, put that in there, and then hand mixed it with my hand mixer. It did a fantastic job of blending all of those together. It was nice and light and airy. And I should get one out and take a bite for you so that you can see what that is. But it makes a wonderful after dinner mint. If you add the sweetener in, it'll give you a little bit of that sweet flavor, kind of get rid of that, craving for something sweet. It would be better to go without the sweeteners, plain and simple. But I have other people in my family that I would love for them to up the fat, and this is one way for me to do it. Let me go grab one of the little guys and I'll show it to you up close, and then I'll take a bite and show you what it looks like in the middle. Here is one of the little roses. And if I bite into it, doing it this way, is about the same all the way through. Whereas before, when I'd melted the butter, it started to separate a little bit when it re-solidified. This way keeps it all together. They melt very, very, very quickly. But fantastic way to help you up your fat and keep a little bit of variety going on in your life. It's actually why I only did 4 ounces of my steak tartare and then an ounce of this, because I really enjoy the variety. So even though I'm eating so much less protein, I'm able to have little bitty bits of a whole bunch of things. Another tip for lowering your protein and upping your fat is actually to eat lean protein. And it sounds counterintuitive, but when you eat leaner cuts of protein, it actually makes it easier for you to see exactly where your protein is going and then add as much fat to it as you want. Now, these actually have quite a bit of fat on them, and they're beautiful and they're so yummy. But I found that doing things like seafood or filet mignon or anything like that, the chicken actually works really well because it is so much leaner than a lot of other cuts. It makes it easier for you to see exactly how much you can have and then add your fat on top of that. Adding fat is always going to be sauces and of course the fatty drinks, things like that. And I'm going to continue to give you guys ideas about what to do and how to add fat to your diet, how to figure out what your protein should be. So Tuesdays for the foreseeable future will be the What I Eat in a Day. I hope that this gives you yet another idea, and I really hope that you guys like the steak tartare, which is totally weird, totally me, because it's very unconventional, and yet it's fantastic and it works really, really well. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope that you're brave enough to try it if you do have a local cow that you know where it came from and you know that it is safe. Also the bone marrow. Let me know how you guys like yours down below, if you've ever made it before, and if you are going to be brave enough to in fact try it now. So thanks so much guys for stopping in today, and I will see you on the way. Bye guys. I'm trying to record. It's not working. Go play. Go play. Oops. It shouldn't be going. With regular Redmond season before you draw. Forgot to open my things. That's a little off. Okay. We'll eat this. Shouldn't have done that. Now I have to chew.